How do we get so far away from God that we live in a godless world? By getting away from nature. I cannot stress this enough. Science is meant to support nature. Science is meant to support nature. Nature is she. She exists regardless of whether or not science supports her. However, magical things happen when science does support nature instead of denies her or belittles her or says that she's not even real, right? Science is meant to support nature. So when we get away from nature, when we get off that path, we also get away from God. And this has to do with childbirth and taking things into our own hands and getting away from nature when we are not meant to. Everyone is mad when their rights are taken away, but God is saying, are you trying to take control over your rights as well? Is that what you're trying to do? Because there are many who are hijacking destinies. There are many who are hijacking God and hijacking God's plan. And one way that this happens daily on a regular basis is when women are having C-sections that are not needed, or otherwise that are pushing them onto women or telling them that they need one when they do not need one. Of course, there are cases and circumstances that science and intervention is very helpful in supporting when we absolutely need that care. But when we do not, that is trying to take control of nature. That is trying to take control of God's plan. The timing, the day, the very minute, and the name of that child that is born is what is determining their destiny. So when you are hijacking that and trying to make it fit your timing and your convenience, this is what is stealing their destiny. When God is not involved in that plan, when God is not involved in that time and you take it upon yourself to put it on your own time, to your convenience, that is taking God out of that picture. This is taking something into your control that has nothing to do with you or your control or for your convenience, that is going to interfere with that child's destiny. It's going to seriously alter that child's plan for life and God's plan for that life. And what happens when we do not have God involved in that plan is this allows another force or entity to come in and have a say in that child's path and that child's plan. So we really want to consider the way and reconsider the way that we are doing things in with childbirth, especially when it comes to convenience. Convenience is incredibly expensive. It is far more expensive than we can usually afford. This is not about money. This is about dreams. This is about destinies that we are talking about. If we order food because it is convenient to us, sometimes there is a bigger price that is being paid that is going to cost us our health or taking a toll on the environment, for example. But sometimes we have to outweigh whether or not the cost is worth or the benefit is worth the cost. To pay for a cleaner we cannot afford is different than it actually adding value because it is giving us more time for our business and with our children, for example. If it is going to make us more money or add more value to our life, that is a different type of convenience. That is something that we are led to do that is going to help us, as opposed to trying to take it into our own hand. I know I can't afford this, and I know this is to my convenience, but I'm going to do it anyways. There is a big difference in these two scenarios, and we absolutely must understand this when it comes to childbirth. What are we doing for convenience or for financial gain as opposed to adding actual value? If you were to get into a relationship, or let's even say a business partnership with somebody, and your destiny was already written, you already had a business plan written, or you were already, let's say, on a roll and making good money in your life, and you got with a partner and got into a relationship, and that partner or that business partner wanted to switch things up suddenly, and they're like, you know what? I know you're doing well with this and this is part of the plan, but I'm actually going to take it into my own hands and change the timing we're going to make it more convenient. It's not going to be in your best interest. It's going to suit me and not you. And this partner was saying that to you and interfering with your life, your destiny, and your business, and your money, and your plan. You would not want that, right? So God is asking, why would you do this to your child? Why would you take things into your own hand and interfere with the plan and the destiny that has already been written? The implications of doing this last generations. This is why so many people, we are in a godless world wondering, what's our plan? What's our destiny? What are we supposed to be doing here when it was already written? But we get off path when God is not involved, or we try to take things into our own hands and follow things that we think make sense to us under our own limited way of thinking. We do not want to interfere with that when we do not need to interfere with that. Again, there is a difference between needing the help and support of science and medical intervention and not needing it and taking it upon ourselves to do for our own convenience or for financial purposes when it is not necessary and it is not adding value to our life. We want to trust God's timing. I have had many who are sent to me who are unable to conceive for many different reasons, and in many ways they are guided to the correct information that's going to help them, and sometimes I have seen actual successful pregnancies come out of it. They just needed that one piece of information or understanding. God's vision, God's knowing is not limited to our vision or to our knowing. Science proves that there is far more than what meets the eye, that there is more light and things that cannot be seen with our human eyes that are very much in existence. There are times I have had someone sent to me, or people sent to me, a woman sent to me, a couple sent to me, who is unable to conceive, and they have everything that they need. They have the financial support, they have the family support, they have friends, and all of their friends and family have children, and except for them, and they've been trying for a long time. These are things that need to be resolved within. This is about trusting God's timing. The nature is the spirit. We cannot see her. That is also faith. That is, you can't see love, you can't see your emotions, you can't see the things of the spirit, but you have to learn to trust that to guide you and to lead you, and that includes God's timing. But sometimes these are things that need to be resolved within. And one thing that is common, and my question to you, if this is you, is, have you forgiven your parents? If you have not forgiven your parents, you know, what we carry within us, because there are some who have realized and recognized that they're actually trying to have children to give their children what their mom didn't give them. Like, I know I can do this. This wasn't given to me. And they'll say that. They'll openly admit it. They are wanting to bring forth to this world what was not given to them. And that's not necessarily creating from God's plan. Yes, we are here to change and transmute what was negative into a positive and turn that pain into power. Absolutely. We are here to bring beautiful fruit onto earth, but sometimes we are doing it with a bitterness or anger behind it or something else, our own thing instead of God's plan. So what is within us, if it is anger, if it is resentment, these are things that are passed on to the child. What we have within us, the children are products of what is within us, and these are the emotional patterns that we were in our grandmother. We were physically in our grandmother's body. These emotional patterns are passed on until we have resolved them within. So one of many is, have you forgiven your parents? Because if you don't have that forgiveness within you, that's also going to be imprinted onto your child. So that is something else to consider. We do not want to try to take control over God's timing. I know that it is a very painful process when you're really wanting something and to bring forth, to offer to this world, but sometimes we need to sit back and listen to what it is that we need to understand in order to do that. Because when we connect to the spirit every single day and stay in alignment with nature, with God every single day, we will be and are led to the people, to the places, to the information, to the things, to the experiences that we need to gain that knowledge and that wisdom and that understanding. And sometimes these experiences are not positive experiences or seemingly so, but they are giving us what we need to learn to gain that understanding, that fruit, and that wisdom and that information. So we know what to do, or so we can heal that, or so we can overcome what it is that we are needing to overcome, so we can bring in what it is that we came here to bring in.